protein, I am going to gain weight. If I eat too much protein, I'm going to get joint pain. I often hear this a lot. So what I wanted to cover today, because most of the time we don't even focus on this, is we're going to talk about macros and proteins. So basically, just kind of a little summary, there are 3 types of macros that we really keep track of. So whether you're ketogenic, whether you're paleo, or maybe now you're trying to figure out what works best for you. Macro stands for macronutrients, and there's 3 that we track a lot: fat, protein, and carbs. You need both fat and protein. You can live without carbs. Your body will produce them from the fat and the protein when need be, when necessary. So that leaves us with 2, fat and protein. But today I'm going to talk about protein because that is such a powerful macronutrient that we underestimate the power of it and how much we need. And I want you to just take a look at me. I'm in a different time in my life now. When I was in my 20s, I could out-train my diet. I could eat pretty much whatever I wanted to, and I still worked out, and still was in pretty good shape. But once you hit 25, once you hit 30, your 40s, your 50s, it's really hard to out-train a bad diet. So I always say start with a good diet in your teens and in your 20s. Start getting that baseline set up, and you'll be great when you start reaching your 4th, 5th, and 6th decade of life. So let's talk about protein. How much should you be consuming, and how often should you be consuming it? Well, some of you know I've been teaching a keto class, but once we get a person fat adapted, I like to play with their protein macros, but each person has to find out what they need. But a good rule of thumb is for you to have between 30 and 40 grams of protein at each meal, preferably 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so if you're not having that much, so that would be looking at between 90 and 120 grams. If you're not eating that much, you're probably going to be undernourished, and it's going to be really hard for you to lose weight. And it's going to be hard for you to feel satiated, and it's going to be hard for you to put on muscle mass. And the higher your muscle mass, you don't have to work as hard as keeping your working out and keeping your weight, at a number that you enjoy. So that is the key. Most people are constantly just looking at carbohydrates, even with keto, just looking at fats. As long as I'm hitting 100 grams of fat or 120 grams of fat, I am good. But not necessarily. You're going to have to focus on the protein amount and the time that you eat it. So let's say there's days where I only eat like 2 meals a day. So if I'm telling you, okay, what we're seeing with some of the research is that between 30 and 40 grams per meal is ideal at 3 times a day. We're looking at about, the 90, 120 range as far as proteins. I'm talking especially for women from that perspective. That is a good starting point. Second thing that you want to look at, like if you want your ideal body weight, let's just say you weigh 150 pounds, okay? And you want to have 130 pounds of that, or even 125 pounds of that to be lean body mass, then you multiply the lean body mass between 0.8 grams and 1.0 grams to give you the amount of protein that you need. So let's just round that off to 1 gram. If you are 150 pounds, but you want to lose 25, or let's just say you want to lose 5 pounds or 10 pounds, but you want to have 125 pounds of solid muscle, which is going to be advantageous for your immune system, for anti-aging, for your heart, and also for your immune system as well. And so looking at that, if you, let's just, like I said, you're going to have 125 grams of lean body mass, then you do 125 grams approximately of protein. So if you're only eating 2 meals a day, you're thinking, wow, that's a lot of protein. That's like 67 and a half grams of protein at each meal. Or if you're doing 3 meals a day, You multiply that by 3, what are we looking at? So about 80 some grams of, or not 80, we're looking at 3 divided by about 40 some grams of protein, right? About 42 and a half. So for some people that might look like a lot, 42 grams. And if you're for 3 meals, but if you're having 2 meals, it's going to seem like more. You're thinking, okay, like a burger has about 19 to 20 grams. Bison burger, 3 ounces has about 19 to 20 grams. You're asking me to eat 2 of those? Yes, you can, but I'm going to tell you one of my secrets that has been working really well is I actually buy bone broth, and there's about 9 grams per cup. And then I add some protein or some bone broth powder in there, which has about 20 grams. So I'm already getting, it might be a little bit higher than that. So I'm already getting about 30 grams right there. So that's usually like one of my, I'll break my fast with that. And then sometimes I'll have, like today I had leftover burger that we had cooked yesterday. So I already had like 40 some grams of protein first thing in the morning. Whether I'm going to eat I don't think I'm going to eat 3 meals today. My body just doesn't crave it, and I just listen to my body. So what I'll do is I'll add some more. I'll have more bone broth with the protein powder. Does collagen count as, you can include that in there. However, I do like the more denser thing. I think if you do and I'm going to give you something else that you can add in there just in case. So let's just say a person's a vegan, okay? It still applies to you. You can get your protein from pea. It's not as dense. However, you can use branch chain amino acids. And then on Friday, I'm going to tell you which specific amino acid is the most important. What your protein, there's a particular protein amino acid that you need to consume at each meal that most people don't talk about. I'm going to share that on Friday on the next Instagram. But you can even add BCAAs, the branch chain amino acids. A lot of the bodybuilders use those. But even like for me right now, it's about anti-aging. It's trying to stay as young as possible. I don't so much worry about looking great in a bikini. I still feel pretty comfortable in a bathing suit, but that's not my priority. For me, it's just like I want to maintain muscle mass. So many people, as they get older, they get weaker, they get more fragile. So we want to make sure that we're preserving muscle. And the more muscle mass you have, the more calories and fat your body is burning. So I do, to kind of go back to your question, I do add collagen in there in some of my foods. I kind of mix it in there. There's no taste, or I mix I brew a tea and I put like a couple scoops of collagen, and I will count that towards my protein amount. However, you'll find that you're more satisfied when you're actually eating the actual protein. So you can add like a scoop of BCAAs in there. In your drink. There's different types, and I'll probably share a little bit about that also in another video, how to maximize those, when to take them. It's very popular with people in the CrossFit community, people that, especially bodybuilders. I have a young son that's really into working out. He's all about BCAAs, but you can also use that, especially now with seniors, with older people. They're so fragile, and most of the time, they fall there and they get a hip fracture, or they're suffering from osteoporosis or osteopenia. And it's not the too much protein that's causing that, because most of them don't even eat enough protein. They eat even maybe a couple meals a day, and it's usually oatmeal or cereal in the morning, piece of toast with some butter, maybe with some peanut butter. At lunchtime, they maybe have a sandwich. It's like, okay, where are they getting their protein? They probably only have maybe 25, 30 grams of protein, if that, a day. That's not enough for them to sustain their muscle mass, longevity, to keep them strong, keep them powerful, keep them confident. So when they are going to the gym, which they need to, or when they're going for walks, they feel confident that, if they fall, they're just going to respond very quickly. So that's my take on that. Anyways, I'll share with you the next one. Like I said, the amino acid that's often overlooked, what foods to find it in, and how much you should have in each meal that you have. Okay, I will talk to you on the next video, next Instagram, And if you like these, please share, please comment, and subscribe to our YouTube video. And we kind of will keep you posted or to our newsletters, because we send those out every week. Okay, we'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Have a great Monday. See ya. Bye.